Welcome back, everyone, to the Art of Light and Color. My name is Leslie Onstead, and I am the designer of the color art products that you'll find on www.colorart.com. This is a part two video of us working with the Champagne Pearl texture and discovering what PolyPour, our newest acrylic blend, will do with primary elements. This first color that I put in is Carmine. It's one of my favorite reds. And the beauty of the Polypore is a custom acrylic blend designed specifically to mix the primary elements in to get the consistency that you need for paint pouring by not having to add any pouring medium, water, or anything else. The only technique so far that I think you might need to add a few drops of water to is the Dutch pour with the blow dryer because it needs to be very, very juicy. This next color that I'm mixing is Playful Peony. And I'm putting 2 scoops in. That's a little taster spoon like what you used to get your samples at Baskin Robbins. They hold approximately about an eighth of a teaspoon. So my mix is about a quarter teaspoon to an ounce and a half of color estimate. Now the polypore mixes in with the primary elements instantly, but you just want to give it a couple extra seconds to make sure that all the little mica particulates, all that color actually dissolves. This next color, I'm actually just making a little bit of extra because I had some from a test swipe that you're going to see me do next. This is a combo of golden diamonds, our newest color. Right now it's available in a half ounce under the primer element line. You can get it in the resin art line. I know this is a slight caveat to sit and tell you that there's 5 of the colors in the resin art line that are simply ground metal and mica. They're not going to be affected if you mix them in acrylic. But the 50/50 golden diamond and the ginger peach just made the most beautiful warm orange. Okay, so that's what I'm putting down. This is a test swipe on a canvas I wanted to cover up. I've been practicing balloon dips and all kinds of other things on. And so I wanted to test my colors out first. This is an 8x8 canvas. That first color going down is my combination of the golden diamonds with the uh, ginger peach. This really brilliant, shimmery, in your face red is that Carmine. And now the Playful Peony. And I had mixed up some Guatemalan green, which is one of our turquoises in the line. It's more of a green teal, even though the camera it's picking up some blue. Looks more like a blue teal. Actually, that might be teal zircon. In the big piece, I use the Guatemalan green. So this is teal zircon. That's why it's reading a little bit more blue. So a couple of years ago when we used to do the swipes, we just laid it down, swiped it over, used way too much paint. Now a couple of years later, I'd rather tilt the paint around like I just did to make sure I get good coverage. And I'm trying not to waste any paint at all. Uh, so this is Artist Loft Black. Now I have a tendency, one of my challenges is to know just how much black to put on the swipe. In my big piece, I went a little bit overboard. That's why I decided to include the test swipe in here so you guys could see it. Just a straight swipe over the new polypore mixed with the primer elements. Now that's Yupo paper that I'm using. 2 years ago, you guys saw me using acetate paper. Yupo is very expensive, but you can reuse it. You can rewash it, and the texture of the Yupo paper is perfect for swiping. It's got just enough flex to it to where it glides that paint directly across your surface. Now, I left this in real, it's a little bit sped up, but not much because I wanted you guys to see the cells forming. So there you can see I torched it. And because I'm a little heavy handed with the black, you can see that the colors that I had on the top are still a bit covered up. So I'm going to tilt it a bit and kind of stretch my cells up a bit. And as long as you move your paint slowly, you really will not lose your design. You just have to be careful. We're not like swinging it around. So here comes a close up on my phone, starting on the one edge of the canvas where the paint ran over so you guys can see the cells up close and personal. And the sparkle of the paint, the primary elements are brilliant shimmering colors, just like the resin art is. And uh, I wanted to be able to get a close up with my camera so you can not only see the cells, but you can see the brilliance of the color. 11, all that little dazzling diamonds. That's that golden diamond that is creating all that sparkle in that gold area. So next up is my 16 by 20 where I've applied the texture on the top and I antiqued it with a little bit of the carbon black. I'm not sure how well that camera's picking that up there. I can see the antiquing. That first color down is the Carmine red. Now I did mix an extra color in there. You're going to notice there's a pink there. That's the jasmine pink that I mixed for those that are interested. And I put some duct tape down or painter's tape down on the canvas. Just, I'm going to try this. This is the first time I've tried this. So I can lift up an area because my first swipe I felt like because I crisscrossed with the colors, the blue became very subdued. And this one I'm going to lay my colors down, pull off the duct tape, and then put my turquoise, my Guatemalan green in those two areas. And again, it's just an experiment, but hey, that's what this is for, right? Doing these videos for you guys so you can see us make the experiments for you, trial and error, and lots of failed pieces of course. It happens to all of us. I'm just loving how brilliant and shimmering all these colors look. Now, when you're working with iridescent paint, your eye needs a place to rest. Normally, I will use a couple matte opaque colors, but with the now you notice I'm pulling the tape off here, just exposing part of that canvas below, so I know I can get a clean turquoise pour in there. But what I was saying is when you're doing regular paintings, you kind of want to give your eye a place to rest by using matte or non-shimmering colors. The beautiful thing with the swipe is your black is your matte, and it's going to go over the entire range of colors we have laid down and kind of hug each color with that black matte. So I don't feel so inclined that I need to use a matte color as part of my swipe. Now here's where I ran into trouble because of that texture on the top. I didn't exactly have a flat place to swipe from. I'm swiping through a curve and I overestimated my black. I went back and added more that I really didn't need. So there's a warning right up front. Now this is a big piece of Yupo paper I did a paint test on. That's why it's so shimmery. But that was a test just to see what the paint looks like on the Yupo. So no, I hadn't washed that off. But this piece will be washed. This piece of Yupo I wash every time when I'm swiping. You can see both sides were tests because I had color painted the other side too. And the beautiful thing with Yupo paper is you just take it to the sink, wash it off, and you can reuse it over and over and over again. Just letting those cells peek through on their own. I tried not to speed this part up too much, but there comes a point when I'm grabbing my torch to pop your bubbles, torch to kind of expose the colors up underneath, that my black was a little bit heavy. And at this point, I'm sitting here thinking, okay, what am I going to do? I don't really want to have to re-swipe over the areas that I swiped. So first I tried to stretch it to see if the color would come up, and it's too much. There's a lot of black up there. It's pooling in the top. And I thought, well, maybe can I swipe it off to the left? Just kind of remove some of the black first, and as long as I'm getting pure black, now here's where some of the color was coming up, and I'm like, what do I do now? So then I used a smaller piece again to try to mop up the black, and just decided at this point, what the heck, we're going to reswipe. Now by reswiping, you are subduing your colors a little bit more. But as you guys have seen in many, many videos, that's just ends up being the fact of life. You kind of have to go with what the paint is telling you it wants to do. So I got a little bit of those colors popping back through on the top. But that section that's right up next to that texture was really bugging me. So at this point, I gave it like that one more swipe and decided that maybe if I could be careful, I could start stretching the color around. So my first instinct was to go up into that corner that I had to mop all that color off in and see if I can stretch that Guatemalan green up in there. By the way, this is sped up, so the time that it took to get up there, I really took my time to stretch that paint. I did not want to just lose the patterns that we worked so hard to get. Now, I knew going over that other top section, swinging back, I was going to lose that jasmine pink, which kind of bummed me out, but it's more about the entirety of the piece. And by stretching that other direction, I'm stretching out the Guatemalan green a little bit, which again, I wanted that pop of color to add some contrast. So at this point, I'm just kind of continuing to move it around until the paint settles in a pleasing pattern. And here we have a close-up right after it was filmed. The paint is absolutely beautiful, and the black is hugging it. And you will see an occasional blast of sparkle as this paint is very, very shimmery. I recorded this close up on my phone. I love how the Guatemalan green mixed with the pinks and the coral and the red. And you're getting these tertiary colors where they're mixing together. I do apologize, this is on my cell phone, but it is really the best way to get a close up and show the sparkle as the paint. As many of you know, a regular camera is not going to show off the iridescence of the paint. That's why we love using our camera phones so much now. So I guess I didn't lose all the jasmine pink. I can see little tiny bits of it here and there. I just love how the golden diamonds is mixing with the carmine red, melding with the teal of the Guatemalan green. Very interesting color combination. I'm glad I did the test swipe first before I did the larger piece. If you've enjoyed this content, please like, subscribe, and share. And I'll see you next time. Bye bye.